Pythagorean Theorem.
The Pythagorean Theorem.
Before we get started, just a couple things you should know. First one is square root. In order to find a square root, you need to determine what number can be multiplied by itself to get the number within the square root sign. So here's an example. We have the square root of 25. What number times itself gives you 25? If you said 5, you are correct. 5 times 5 equals 25, so the square root of 25 equals 5. Now try a couple yourself. What is the square root of 64, the square root of 4, and the square root of 100? Pause the video now and resume when you have your answers. The square root of 64 is 8, because 8 times 8 is 64. The square root of 4 is 2, because 2 times 2 equals 4. And the square root of 100 equals 10, because 10 times 10 equals 100. One other thing you're going to need to know is basic algebra. So in this problem, we have x plus 5 equals 15, and we want to solve for the x. So in order to do that, we want to isolate the variable or get it by itself. So in order to get rid of the plus 5, we need to do the opposite operation, which would be to subtract 5. In order to keep it equal on both sides, we would have to do the same thing on both sides of the equal sign. So, positive 5 minus 5 is 0, which leaves us with x on the left side. And 15 minus 5 equals 10. Therefore, x equals 10. Now, some quick vocabulary for the lesson. First word is hypotenuse. Hypotenuse is the longest leg of a triangle, as you can see demonstrated in this picture. When working with Pythagorean theorem, we're going to be looking at right triangles. A right triangle is a triangle with one right angle, and a right angle is a 90-degree angle, as you can see in this image. Legs are the two other sides on a triangle that are not the hypotenuse, as you can see here. So why use Pythagorean theorem? Pythagorean theorem allows us to determine a missing side length of a right triangle. Pretty awesome, isn't it? So like mentioned before, the formula for Pythagorean theorem is a squared plus b squared equals c squared. So for instance, if I had a triangle with side lengths 3, 4, and 5, I would fill in my formula. So my shorter sides, 3 and 4, would represent a and b, so 3 squared plus 4 squared, and always have c as the longest side or hypotenuse. So the longest side in the triangle is 5. So 3 squared plus 4 squared equals 5 squared. The cool thing is when we do the math, 3 squared is 9, 4 squared is 16, 5 squared is 25, and 9 plus 16 equals 25. So if we have to find the missing side length, in this case we'll be looking at C, which is the biggest side or the hypotenuse. So side A is 6 and side B is 8. First thing we want to do is write out our formula. Now we can fill in the missing pieces. We said A was 6, so A squared becomes 6 squared. B was 8, so b squared becomes 8 squared, and c, we don't quite know what it is yet, but we do know it will be c squared. So by doing the math, 6 squared is 36, 8 squared is 64, 36 plus 64 equals 100, so we know c squared equals 100. So we can take the square root of 100, and our side length c equals 10. Will it always work out nicely? Unfortunately, no. So we can take a look at this example, going through the same steps. Writing the original formula, filling in the numbers that we have, in this case side lengths A and B, doing some math. 25 plus 81 gives us 106, which represents c squared. Now we take the square root of 106 to get us c. In this case, the square root of 106 is 10.2956, and it continues on and on. So to keep it simple, we're just going to leave c as the square root of 106. Finding the missing side A or B. A little trickier than before, but we can handle it. So in this one, we don't have side length A, but we have side length B and C. B is 4, and side length C is the square root of 20. So just like before, we want to write our formula, fill in what we know. In this case, we know that B is 4 and C is the square root of 20. Let's do some math now. So 4 squared, which is 4 times 4, gives us 16. And now the square root of 20 squared. The cool thing about this is square root and squaring a number are the opposite of each other, so they cancel out, which leaves us with just 20. So now we have a squared plus 16 equals 20. So now we got to use that basic algebra we talked about before. I want to get the a squared by itself, so I have to get rid of the 16. In order to do this, I need to do the opposite of what's happening already. So the opposite of adding 16 would be subtracting 16. Whatever I do on one side of the equal sign, I also have to do on the other. 16 minus 16 gives us 0, which leaves us just with the a squared. And 20 minus 16 is equal to 4. So a squared is equal to 4. So we take the square root of 4, which will give us 2. So side length A would be equal to 2. Let's make sure it works. So a squared, which we said is 2, 2 squared, 2 times 2 equals 4. We said side length B is equal to 4. So B squared, 4 times 4, equals 16. And C, we said, was the square root of 20. And the square root of 20 squared left us with 20. So 4 plus 16 does equal 20, and we are correct. So I want you to try it for yourself. Find the missing side lengths. You have problem 1, where I give you side length A and B, and you have to find C. And problem 2, where I give you side length A and C, and you have to find missing side length B. So I would pause the video. Feel free to go back and look at the examples, write out all your work, and then you can continue to see if you had it correct. So here is the work for the first one. Just for the sake of time, I'm not going to go through all of the steps, but the correct answer for missing side length C would be the square root of 58. And for the second one, in this case we had to find the missing side length B. So once again, just to save some time, I won't go through the full example, but feel free to go back in the video if you find yourself having a hard time. The answer to the second one is the square root of 45. I hope this video helped, and I hope you learned a little bit more about Pythagorean Theorem.